Hello, hello, my beautiful people. Is Adriana back to Perspective Podcast? Another amazing episode. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Perspective Podcast, where we explore the stories that shift perspectives and inspires people to transformation. So, welcome again to our podcast. Today, I have an amazing guest and a good dear friend, a mentor of mine, Patrick Juma Owino. I always
Owino.
last name. I always struggle to pronounce it.
It's Owino. Owino.
Owino. Owino. There you go. Welcome, welcome, Patrick. Welcome,
Thank you.
everyone. I just want to do a quick introduction of Patrick. Patrick is a dynamic leader, business leader with over 22 years experience in sales and business management. After earning his MBA in marketing and strategy management, Patrick has excelled in various roles, consistently achieving outstanding results. And I can guarantee you for that. In 2013, he took a bold leap and he immigrated to Canada with his family, where he started from scratch, literally from scratch, where he decided to create his own business and do his amazing life here in Canada to creating a business landscape. So welcome, 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 Patrick.
Thank you so much, Adriana, for having me, and I'm excited.
I am excited to have you here. Patrick and myself, we met almost like 2 years ago, being part of Toastmasters, a place where we learn how to enhance our public speaking and communication skills. And Patrick was the one that took me under his wing and became my mentor and helped me. Literally, he was a little piece into my big puzzle of who I am today. So thank you so much, Patrick, for joining us. We'll love to hear a little bit of your story, because you have such a unique story of, and I know it, I connect so well with this, because coming from a different country, deciding to take this bold like step into take all your family and come with your family to a different country, different culture. What was that thing that made you to make that such a decision that completely changed your perspective of your own life and now your family and all the people that you're impacting today?
Thank you so much, Adriana. I look at life as an adventure. And when I got the opportunity to apply to come to Canada as an immigrant, I spoke with my wife and I told her, do you think we should move to Canada? And she said, yes. So when I got that confirmation from her that she also shared that dream and that spirit of adventure, we applied. It took about 5 years. Then we got our visas in June of 2012. Because we had some projects that were still going on, my wife also was still doing her MBA. So we waited for her to complete her studies. And then we bought tickets. We did some research, decided that we don't want to live in a big city, because we were living previously in Nairobi. It's a big city, almost at that time about 6 million people. So it was quite busy. And when we decided that we wanted to come and start life afresh in Canada, we said we don't want big city life again. So we chose a small city, Edmonton, in the middle of Canada. And it also had very good reviews. At that time, there was so much boom in the oil. So we thought, yeah, that's a good town it's a small town, and it's also a big town for us to start life afresh. So we bought tickets and landed Nairobi, London, Toronto, Edmonton, and landed here. So when we landed here, because we came as a skilled immigrant, there was no one at the airport to pick us up. The plane arrived at around 11:30 p.m. So after all the cheers and people welcoming each other had settled down, then we realized that there was no one to pick us up here, and it's almost like midnight. So we tried calling a few hotels, and we couldn't get any space. So we decided to spend our first night in Canada on the benches at Edmonton International Airport. It was exciting. And then in the morning, we called and we got a motel. We moved there. We spent 7 days there. And then after 7 days, we got an apartment. We moved in there. Realized that Now, the money that we had carried is running out. I had to get a job fast. So went for some job fairs, and our kids also are still little. So my wife decided that she'll be taking care of the kids. So went to the job fairs. And in the job fairs, I was not looking for a job, but I was looking for a place whereby I could get an opportunity to see Canada and something that will open my eyes. So when I went to a job fair, I found a job, a company that was hiring people, but it was strictly sales. It was 100% sales, whereby sales and 100% commission. So when you sell, then you're paid. But the beauty about it and why I chose it is because being door to door, I would be thrown into the ocean. I would be able to see things, meet people, and help me shape my perspective about Canada and what Canada is, unlike what I had prior to landing here. So that job was very good. I went all around Alberta, Saskatchewan, and parts of BC. And within like 7 months, I had a fairly good view or idea of what Canada is. Along the way also, I got people asking me if there were other services that we were doing, because at that time, the company that was employing me, the door-to-door company, was only doing lawn aeration. But people were asking, do you guys also do window cleaning and gutter cleaning, which we didn't do. So I saw an opportunity. And the following year, on April Fools, I started All Clean Property Services. And why I also was geared towards coming here and not being a job seeker, I also wanted to be a job creator, so that now I can have more impact to my loved ones, my immediate family, the people who will be working with me, and the greater community. So there was a shift in the way I saw things prior to coming here, where I was employed and sometimes dabbling in with some entrepreneurship. But when I came here, I had this mental shift of just focusing on being an entrepreneur and a business owner. It's now 10 years down the line, and I can't complain. It's a long story. I had to cut it short and make it a bit shorter.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. You remind your beginning in Canada reminds so much with my beginning as well. I remember the same. We came to Canada exactly in the night. It was like late in the night. We had someone to pick us up, and he took us to the hotel, like a small hotel. And we didn't see nothing the whole, it was night. So when we woke up in the morning, and I came from Florida, and when I woke up in the morning was snow, because we came in February, and we came from Florida plus
Oh my goodness.
to minus, I think it was minus 15 or whatever it was, and
Yeah.
it was snow on the floor, and it was such a shock. And we started seeing things, and it was a big shock. But where is all this courage is coming from, Patrick? Because you had to have so much courage somehow build up in you to have this mindset. Most of the people, when they face adversity of challenges like this, and life is hitting you from where you came and where you are now, strange, everything is new, it can become overwhelming. What was the courage or like to be able to pursue, to be able to push through to all of this?
Very many sources of courage. One is my parents. I also drew a lot of inspiration from my dad and my mom, because my father, there's a time when I was, I think, about 6 years, he left the city that he was in, where I was born, in Nairobi, and then he just told us we are moving to another city, the coastal city of Mombasa. So he took all his furniture and everything that we had at the home and took them back to our ancestral home, and then we moved to Mombasa. And then we stayed there, did my elementary school there, and then again, about 8 years later, he again moved closer to my ancestral home, which is Nakuru. And again, also one December, he just told us he's going to look for work in another town. He came back prior, just before Christmas, and told us that he got a job at the other town that we were supposed to move in. And now we'll be moving back there because we have to start life afresh there. And my parents have also always had the courage to move and make the decision when it was necessary. And being the firstborn child, watching them very closely, I think I borrowed some of that courageous spirit in them and adventurism. Another source also is I'm an avid reader, and I've read certain books, and there's a book I read about an explorer who went to, I think, the Americas. When he reached there, he burnt the ships. So he told his people that either we fight or we perish. And those stories are inspiring, and they give me courage to, once you have a clear mind of what you want, and you have that conviction, then there's commitment. And then once you have commitment, you always have the courage. And I look at those are the 4 C's of any success. You have to be clear about what you want, have that strong conviction. When you have that conviction, you have the commitment that it's only you who has to do it. And once you have that commitment, then the courage follows out of it.
I'm taking notes. This is definitely something to take notes of. Be clear, have the conviction, and then commit to it. It's beautiful.
And then have the courage. Then the courage just comes, and
courage comes automatically. And it's true. It's true. I love that you almost like you got the gift of from your parents. You adopted from them. You see them. You saw them that they were leading by example. And now I feel like you leading by example in your own life, in your business, in your family, with your children, as a leader and a mentor in Toastmasters. So I really always love that about you.
Yeah.
Also, I would like to ask you, when it comes to challenges, adversities, and moments that doesn't matter how, I feel like some doesn't matter how strong you are, doesn't matter how well prepared you are, life is always going to throw something at you that will push you so even down, so you can rise even higher than previously. So if you will to share with us and our audience, what was your biggest challenge in your life, overall life and journey, and how this helped you to change, you to overcome everything in your life, to be able to create this formula that now helps you to thrive, doesn't matter whatever happened in your life?
So the question you're asking me is, how do I overcome obstacles or challenges?
Or even the biggest one, because most of us, we used to overcome certain things that we do it in a repetitive mode. But
Yes.
when you're facing a bigger one that you never faced before, and I know in your journey you had to face big challenges to be able to be where you are today. How did you overcome that?
Yes, what I always, because challenges are part of life, and I look at challenges as they are good, because what happens is that they bring the best out of you. I started the business. I'll talk about my business because it has been a journey. It has been a journey of over the last 10 years of self-discovery, learned a lot of things along the way. And it is still a journey. I'm still on the path of self-discovery, and also on the path of trying or striving to master. Never mastered it, still on the path. So 2014 started the business. 2015, 2017, 2018, that's about now 5 years later, 4 or 5 years later, I reached like a plateau. And when I reached a plateau whereby I couldn't break beyond a certain revenue point or a certain growth point, whereby maybe I couldn't add more stuff and all that, I realized that I need to find somebody else who has done it, because I had this principle in my mind that, one, success is an open book test. You don't have to try figuring it out all the time. There's somebody who has done it. There's somebody who has gone on that journey that maybe you're struggling with right now. So find somebody who has succeeded in what you're trying to achieve, and then follow them. It's like maybe if you want to bake a cake, maybe it's your birthday is coming, you want to bake a cake, rather than trying to create your own, look for somebody who has created a beautiful cake, then just follow the recipe. So what I did is that I found a mentor who had already achieved what I am aspiring to achieve. And then having been clear about what I want, because the first thing I had to ask myself, yes, right now I'm facing this challenge of growth. Is this what I really want? And now at that point, I had to be very clear about what do I really want in life? What do I want to accomplish with the limited time that I have and the limited energy that I have? So I use the same principle of understanding what's really important to me. So I drill down to my value. What is really important? Because a value is something that is important to me, something that I would die for and I would live for. And I decided that this is what I'm living and I'm dying for. So having been clear about what it is that I want, I then now seeked this mentor who held my hand, showed me all the ropes, also understanding where I want to go, what is my vision, and then what role am I going to play to achieve that vision and live my values that are important to me. So this mentor held my hand, showed me the ropes, and right now I'm still on the path. I'm still on the path of self-discovery, using his recipe, and also on the path of mastering it. And back to your question, I use the same formula of overcoming challenges and obstacles. When you have a challenge, when you have an obstacle, you'll always have doubts. You'll always have questions. And it's our brain trying to protect us. It's our brain trying to maintain a status quo or a sense of stability. But for you to grow, you have to challenge that. It's not easy. That's why if you are clear about what's important to you, if you are clear about where you want to go, and then you create an empowering role for yourself, you're going to achieve that. And that's the formula that I use for all the obstacles.
So good, so good. I could listen to you forever. So good, so many gold nuggets, and yes, one of the biggest one, which I can confirm with that, it's having mentors, having coaches, having people that are done it, or they are who or where you want to be. It's one of the most important keys ever, because I know for well, so many times I said to myself, but I can do it, I can Google it, but it's not, because when it hits you, I think most of it, and you can address this more, I think most of the challenges are mentally, Patrick?
Yep.
They're not mentally and emotionally, before anything else, before finance, before how to do it. Give us a little bit of more of what it took you, besides the fact that having someone on your corner, have a mentor to follow and guide you, the mental part, because in the end nobody can go inside your mind and shift anything. A mentor can help you, but how did you change, or even stabilize, staying consistent with what you have to do, and what you needed to do in those adversity moments, when your mind said that I don't want to do it, I can't do this anymore, I'm tired, or whatever that situation was?
Yes. What I do is that I keep on working on my mind, because the quality of your life is influenced and impacted strongly by the quality of your thoughts. So I always believe that my mind, I need to work on it every day. So I'm an avid reader, and I find that reading helps me change perspectives, because when I'm reading, it could be mostly books that deal with the mind. So when I'm reading, I'm able to reflect and able to gain perspective, because as you said, the biggest blockage normally is your mind, is what you're thinking. is your thought process. So I always work on my mind, and by working on my mind, I'm able to have clarity of what's most important. Because as I mentioned earlier, we always have to be aware of two things. One, the time that we have, and two, the energy. These are limited. Right now, as we are speaking here, time is passing, the clock is ticking. Right now, as we are speaking here, we are using energy. We ate food, the energy was digested, it was transformed into energy, we're using it, and now we're using it for speaking. Now the question is, what do you get from that time? And by sharpening your mind, you're always aware of what's most important. What do you need to do right now with your time that is limited and the energy that is limited? So once you get to that this is what you want to accomplish, you could have several visions, what you want to accomplish. You could also be addressing what's most important to you, and also what is your role. So once you are clear about this, the next thing that I keep on asking myself, because I have these two limited aspects, time and energy, is always what's important now, what's important next. So with that, then now my mind is always thinking, what's important now? What's important next? And this way, I'm able to stay focused because I know what the vision is, what's most important to me, and what's my role to play to make it happen.
I love it. I love that you give even so many practical tools. And it was actually one of my questions to ask you some practical tools or exercises or things to do, but you already answered them. So
yeah, let me just go back to that one.
Yes.
Where you say what's important now, it's win-win. What important now, what's important next. So it's a win-win situation. So always ask yourself that.
I love it. I love that.
Yeah.
So good, so good. Definitely for those that are listening this, I'm thinking I will have to go back and re-listen it and take notes and then put it in practice. No, Patrick, because without practice, nothing gets happening if we just think of it.
Correct.
Also, I would like to ask you how you are growing, how you always in this journey of better yourself every single time, working with yourself, working with your mind, working with someone else to help you, to guide you towards where you want to go. I see that your impact, your own personal impact on yourself, it's now starting impacting people around you, your family, your children. How your own transformation it's impacting the people that you're serving through your business, in family, as the people, the mentees that you mentor at Toastmaster and so on.
So the question was, what's my impact?
What is your impact that you created for yourself? How is that impacting the people around you now?
Yes. When you work on yourself, you find that you also impact the people that are close to you, because you are now executing better. And because you're executing things better, you're getting better results. And it's across board on all the people that are close to you. It could be your family, my family, the people that work with me, and also in my community. So when I work on myself, I also impact all the people that I engage with. Yes.
It's so true. I think it's almost like unconsciously it's happening. Unconsciously, yes. It's happening without you even notice, because people they see you, you lead by example. They see you do things differently, and they see the results on your life, and then they feel inspired to try the same, or even they ask you for your help, or even they feel like, if he can do it, maybe I can do it too. So that's a beautiful way to inspire people, by constantly working with yourself as well too.
Correct. Because
yeah.
you find that if you have a vision, for example, if you have a vision,
Yeah.
and you are working towards accomplishing it, you find that mostly if it's a bigger vision, you can accomplish it alone. you need to have a team. So, and I always believe also that life is a team sport. It's not something that you can't succeed in life if you're a lone ranger. Yeah. You need people to support you. And if you are able to clearly articulate your vision, and there are always people who are willing and able to support you. And for you to accomplish that goal, you're building a team. There's synergy in all of you. And as the tides rise, it lifts all the boats. So you're lifting everybody that is with you, and all of you are succeeding towards that common goal.
Yes.
And in their own ways, they're also having impact wherever they are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And you see that we can see that even in Toastmaster in our club. It's if one of us is inspiring the other to rise together. So we always like, waves of someone else is more determined and that goes do a project, and then everybody else is joining, and then someone else. We're all taking these roles with each other, and we lead each other as we learn and grow every single time we meet. So it's such a pleasure to learn from you and to observe you. And one thing I can say to my audience, one thing I have learned from you and it stuck with me, is that you said that even 2 years on the beginning, one of your speeches, you are mentioning about living in the present moment, because the present moment is the most important thing we have. We cannot go backwards. We can't go forward. We can never be in our future. And I feel like this is something that is always keeping you constant and keeping you present with everybody. It doesn't matter where you go. Speak a little bit about that, the importance of being present.
That's very important, because this is the time that we have right now. And what we have an obligation to make the most of it, because the past is gone and the future, we don't know about it. So in the present, do the best, because as you do that, you're living your life, because life is lived within the moments. So right now, we are living our lives. We are experiencing what we are doing right now. It's a podcast, we are sharing. So this is the moment. And it's very important to be present so that you can appreciate the experience that you are going through right now. Because sometimes you find that we are so busy either in the future or in the past that we forget to appreciate the present right now.
So true.
Right now. And because what you're doing right now, it builds up. It builds up. And if you keep on doing what's important right now, you're focused on right now, you find that tomorrow will take care of itself and the future will take care of itself. I always tell people, just focus on right now. Strive for excellence right now, and everything will be okay. And I remind myself, it's not something that is natural. I remind myself of being present most of the times. Like even right now, before we started the podcast, I had to remind myself where I am. Where am I? I ask myself the question, where am I? I'm here right now.
Yeah.
What's most important? This podcast. So being present, I'm aware and I give full attention to what we are discussing right now, whereby I listen to you, and it's active listening. Or whereby if I didn't understand a question properly, I have to ask you so that I'm able to articulate, being fully present. And that way I'm able to experience life, and all of us in this space right now can experience life in this beautiful way.
Yeah. And
that's even like, for example, even if I'm approaching a door and I know maybe I'm going to meet somebody there, I'll pause for a second or two, or some microseconds, and remind myself that I'm walking in here, and now I bring my presence in there, both mentally and physically. Because sometimes you could be physically somewhere, but your mind is somewhere else.
Yes, so many times it happens to all of us. And that's that question I think is so powerful, and I think it becomes like a practice. You have to keep practice it to become a habit. To
remind yourself, be present, and experience life, because before you know it, life moves so fast. Before you know it, it's over.
Yeah, that's true.
Before you know it, it's over.
Yeah, like this podcast, I feel like it was like went so fast and it's almost at the end of it. And it's such a beautiful, I love the conversations with you, Patrick. It's
Yeah.
absolutely a pleasure to hear, even to know you even through this way a little bit deeper and better. And also to hear you always have so many gold nuggets and insights that my ear hears and my mind gets wondered, and I'm like, oh, that was a good one. Oh, I need to reflect over that. So I enjoy having you here.
Thank you.
Let the audience know how they can find you if they want to connect with you, and what would you say want to say to them at the end of this podcast?
Great. One, you can go to my website, patrickjuma.com. There is a form there. You can always contact me there. And what I want to leave them with is life is for living. Enjoy, be present, find out what's most important to you. What do you want to accomplish in the limited time and energy, the limited time that you have and the limited energy that you have? Because all of us have a span.
Yeah.
There's a time we are born, there's a time we have exit. So between this time, how do you find meaning? How do you find significance? How do you get a sense of satisfaction from this time that you have? So once you've identified what's most important to you, pursue it. Pursue it with the zeal of a crusader.
I love
Everything
it.
will be okay.
I love this. Life is for living. I think that's gonna be something that's gonna be stuck with me for a long time. Life is for living. That we forget, and it's such a powerful reminder. It's absolutely a pleasure, Patrick. I have at the end of every podcast, I
Yes.
have 3 fire questions to ask
Okay.
my audience and
Okay. Let's
ask
go for it.
my guest. So number 1, what is one thing that you do every day that brings you joy?
Reading.
Reading. That's awesome.
I like reading. Today
Yes.
I was reading a magazine in the morning, and as I'm reading, I get insights. It shifts my perspectives about how I view life. And why I like reading is because the person who wrote it was sharing their perspective from how they view it. And when I read their thoughts, it also shows me the other way of looking at life, another way of thinking about life or aspects of life.
Yeah, I
So
love
one thing I do every day, and something that really empowers me and calms me down and grounds me, is reading. I like that because it expands my mind, and I see the world and aspects of society differently. And that is stimulating.
Yes.
Mentally, it is
It's awesome.
stimulating. I find it stimulating.
Beautiful. It's so rewarding.
Yes.
It's almost like food for your mind,
Yes.
food
Yes.
for your heart as well too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Question number 2. If you could have dinner with anybody, dead or alive, who would that be and why?
I read a book this week by an author, Leo Tolstoy. And there was a quote in it that stuck in my mind the whole day. He said, without knowing why you are here, without knowing who you are and why you are here, life is impossible.
Beautiful.
Without knowing who you are and why you are here, life is impossible. So I would like to have dinner or sit down with him and allow him just to explain that and expound on what he really means. Because it's a statement, and I would just want to delve deeper for him to elaborate and give me examples and ask him even why he came up with that thought.
That's a very deep question. That's a question I've been asking myself for a while now, and I think it's gonna take me another lifetime to answer.
Yeah.
Well, I love it. I love it. Definitely. And question number 3, what do you hope your legacy will be?
Interesting question. I want my legacy to be that I made a difference in the world and in places where I was. I made a difference for the good, and I made the world a little bit a better place to live in. So, and that's what I strive on in my business and also in my family, working on making life better for myself, for my family, for the people who work with me, and for the community. Because as I said earlier, life is for living, and I believe that we should enjoy our time here.
Yes,
Thanks.
definitely. That's beautiful. That's a beauty. It is. It's more we understand ourselves and more we able to create an impact on our own lives, we will automatically create the impact in the world around us.
Yeah.
And that's not a small thing. It's been such a pleasure to have you here, Patrick. I enjoyed this conversation. Would love to have you again. For everyone that is listening or watching today, please, you want to connect with Patrick, we're going to drop all his links or to connect with him on the show notes. Definitely. And it's been absolutely honored. Thank you so much, Patrick, for being here, for taking your time to be present, fully present here with me and my audience. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for listening to the Perspective Podcast. And if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share it with someone else. Share it with your friends. And remember, everything in your life is just a matter of perspectives. Until then, live your life like it's truly yours. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Adriana.
Thank you. Bye-bye.